Hello everybody. In this video, I will be teaching you the genomic library, the cDNA library, and the nucleic acid hybridization, colony and plaque hybridization probing. Now these are the contents which I will be including in this video, and the main heading through which I will be teaching will be identification of clone from a genomic gene library. All right. So to understand this concept, that is identification of clone from a gene library, we first have to clear the concept, that is the genomic library and cDNA library, what exactly they are. Now, talking about the genomic library, first of all, genomic library, the genome is the total DNA content of a cell. Say, for example, if we took a bacteria, then the total chromosome or the total DNA which is present inside the bacteria is its genome. The total DNA is its genome. All right. So what we have to first do, we first have to take out the whole genome. So this is the total DNA content of this cell. This is total DNA content. And then we cleave this whole DNA through any of the restriction endonuclease enzymes, say for example SAU-A3. SAU-3A. Now this is the restriction endonuclease enzyme. So these restriction endonuclease enzyme will have some SAU-A sites on it. These are the SAU-3A site on this DNA molecule. Alright, so these SAU-3A sites will be present around after small intervals on this total DNA. So this restriction endonuclease enzyme will cleave the whole DNA into small fragments. So these are the small fragments of this DNA. These are the fragments which are formed by cutting this whole DNA by certain restriction endonuclease. Here we have taken the enzyme SAU-A3 or SAU-3A. So these are the DNA fragments which we have taken it here. These are the DNA fragments. Now these DNA fragments are ligated to some cloning vectors. Say for example, the cloning vector is if it is a cosmid, or we can take plasmid, or we can take YAC or BAC. So any of the cloning vector. So these DNA fragments DNA fragments are ligated, means connected to cloning vector. We have plant. The cloning vector example is, it can be cosmid. Here I am taking cosmid, but it can be YAC, BAC, or any other desirable cloning vector. So suppose these are the cosmids we have taken. For each DNA fragment, we have to take a separate cosmid, and then finally we will have a recombinant DNA in which the cosmids are connected to the separate DNA fragments. So we have to use the enzyme DNA ligase here. So these are the recombinant DNA in which we have ligated these all the DNA fragments of the genome, whole genome, onto different cosmids. So they are the rDNAs which are being developed here, and these rDNAs are then packed again into the bacteria E. coli. They are packed in E. coli and the bacteria is cultured. And then the bacteria is cultured. Alright. So finally we will have a tray here. We will have a tray here. The tray have got a colony of bacteria, because in the culture tray, culture plate, the bacteria will multiply. These rDNAs are incorporated into different E. coli, and these E. coli are released in this medium. So this medium contains bacterial culture, and inside the bacterial culture obviously there will be rDNA of different fragments, and this collection of all the gene present in this culture plate is the genomic library. It is the genomic library. Now from this culture plate we have to identify the clones. All right. So that means if we have inserted our gene of interest in this rDNA, then we have to identify the clones. We have to identify the clones. So I'm just again telling you what is genomic library actually. The genomic library is the collection of all the gene present inside the cell. If a cell, the genome is the total DNA content of the cell, and genomic library is the library, that means collection of all the gene present inside the whole genome. So we have to break this cell. Say for example, this is the bacterial cell. If we are using this as a bacterial cell, we can do it for as plant cell or any other cell as well. So this is the whole genome of the bacterial cell. The genome is taken out. We cleave this genome with certain restriction endonuclease. Here we have cleaved it with the help of SAU3A, that is the restriction endonuclease enzyme. Then the fragments will be formed, because this total DNA will have SAU3A sites on it. Now these DNA fragments are ligated to some cloning vectors like cosmid, and then we develop the rDNA. And then this rDNA, if we insert our gene of interest in these rDNA, they become the clone gene. And then what we do, we pack these rDNAs inside the bacteria again, and the bacteria is cultured. So in this culture plate, we will have multiple copies of all the gene of the whole genome of the bacteria. So this will be a library called as genomic library. So from the genomic library, we can identify the clones if we have inserted certain gene of interest in it. Now, in case of bacteria, the genome size is not so elaborated, so it is difficult. It is easy to maintain and handle this genomic library, because the total DNA content is not so large. But if we talk of certain plant cells or animal cell, then it is a hectic process. That's why in animal cells or plant cell, some genes express themselves, some genes do not express themselves at the same times within the same cell. So it is better to develop in a cDNA library. So another concept is the cDNA library. Now cDNA is a DNA which is formed from RNA. If the RNA is converted into DNA, okay, with the help of an enzyme reverse transcriptase, now this DNA is technically is complementary or cDNA. Alright, now this cDNA is ligated into the cloning vector, because in cloning vector we cannot ligate the RNA. So with this cDNA is ligated to cloning vector, and then we obtain the clone gene. Alright, so if we have a collection of many cDNAs, this cDNA will form the cDNA library. It forms cDNA library. I'll show you how. Now these clone genes are then identified from the culture. They're actually identified from the culture medium. Now, for synthesis of cDNA, we have to use certain enzymes. Say, for example, if we have a mRNA here, so this is the mRNA. Because messenger RNA is transcribed and translated into protein, so we have to take the mRNA first, and this mRNA is converted into cDNA. So that cDNA represents the gene for the mRNA for the formation of certain protein. So we have an mRNA here. So on mRNA we anneal poly A at its 3' end. So this is the 3' end, this is the 5' end. So what do? We place many adenine molecules A like that up to 200 to 200 to 250 AAA. So these adenine molecules are annealed at the 3' end of this mRNA. Alright, this is called as poly A. We have annealed poly A. That means poly A is annealed at the 3' end. Alright. Then we supply the nucleotides, and obviously the nucleotides here will be TTT. They will be placed corresponding to the AAA. There will be a pair with it, and then this TTT act as a base for the start of the reaction. Then we use an enzyme that is reverse transcriptase to form the first DNA strand. So this is the base, yeah, this is the base to start the reaction. And this enzyme is the reverse transcriptase. Now this reverse transcriptase forms the first strand of DNA in from 5' to 3' direction. Alright, so now this molecule will become a hybrid molecule of DNA and RNA. This is RNA DNA hybrid, but we ought to have both the strands DNA, not single strand DNA, because one strand is RNA, it has got uracil in place of T. So next what we do here, we treat this whole structure with RNA H1. It is another enzyme, RNase H1. Now this enzyme cut and cleaves the RNA molecule. So only the DNA molecule will be left here. So this is the DNA which has been left here. Now this DNA molecule have got because this total RNA is not cleaved at small intervals. By chance, some of the RNA fragments remain. They are not able to properly cleave. So they act as a base, and then by using another enzyme, that is DNA polymerase first, we complete the second strand of the DNA. Alright, so then what will happen? This will be the first strand of the DNA, and these are the small RNAs which are present, and then we complete the second strand in 5' to 3' direction. So this is the second strand of DNA. Alright, if this fragment is shifted slightly, like if we have a base here, so this is later on these RNAs are also removed by certain enzymes, and then we have the DNA fragments here, total DNA fragments here. Okay, so this becomes double stranded DNA. This is double stranded DNA, which is actually cDNA. Now this cDNA is then ligated into the cloning vector. This is ligated to the cloning vector. So if this is the cloning vector, maybe cosmid, then this cDNA, I'm showing it with pink color now. The cDNA is ligated into the cloning vector. So this is the cDNA, which is the representation of the gene, and this yellow one is the cloning vector, and then this is the whole structure is then inserted inside the bacteria, inserted in bacteria. All right. So like this, for one gene we can do, for other gene also which are been expressing, we can develop a cDNA and then ligate this cDNA in some bacteria, and then suppose this is the bacteria, and this cDNA is now present inside this bacteria. The cDNA is already present in this bacteria, and this bacteria has its own chromosome as well. Maybe E. coli is the bacteria, and this bacteria is cultured. This is cultured in the plate. So we have the culture, saving the time now. So these are the bacteria in the culture plate, and from this culture plate we have to identify the clone gene. If we insert some gene of interest in this cDNA library, and then will develop some clones, so we have to identify clones. So this is the cDNA library. For one gene I have shown you, but for another gene we have to do the same, repeat the same process. So I'm going to revise what we have done. We are supposed to do the identification of clones from gene library. So we first have to clear our concept of the genomic library as a cDNA library. What exactly are they? So when we talk of genomic library, the whole DNA content of a cell is called its genome. So we have to develop the library, that is collection of all the genes of the whole genome. So the whole genome is cleaved, inserted into some cloning vector. These cloning vectors are inserted back into the bacteria, and the bacteria is cultured. So this culture plate will have genomic library in it. In the same way, if we are supposed to develop cDNA library, then we have to take only the mRNA, not the whole DNA. We have to isolate the mRNAs at different timings, and then these mRNAs are converted into DNA by using DNA reverse transcriptase enzyme and the DNA polymerase. First we have to develop the cDNA. So the cDNA is a DNA which is developed from RNA. The cDNA is ligated into the cloning vector. The cloning vector is inserted into the E. coli bacteria, and the bacteria is cultured. Now this culture plate will have cDNA library inside it, collection of the cDNAs inside it. Like this we can repeat it for other mRNAs also, other cDNA developed from different mRNAs. Now in both the cases, finally we have got a library, that is either we have a genomic library here like this in the culture plate, or we have a cDNA library here. In both the cases, if we insert the gene of interest and then these gene of interest are present inside this bacteria, then we have to identify the gene of interest by certain techniques. So in this technique we are using the genomic library or the cDNA library to identify the cloned gene, and that will be the next topic. How can we identify the clone gene? The clone gene can be identified by using nucleic acid hybridization or colony or plaque hybridization probing. Now this two techniques for identification of clone gene from the genomic library. Either it is gene library, that is the genomic library, or the cDNA library. In both the cases, we have to use this technique, that is nucleic acid hybridization followed by colony and plaque hybridization probing, to identify the clone gene, and that we will be observing in the next video. So thank you very much. Hope you have the concept with you. Have a nice day.